guys, we're on part 3. So yeah, now we're just gonna keep going into making this comic happen. And when you do this yourself, if you do this kind of thing in this style, you'll see you could breeze through it just by taking note of those tips, making some templates, making some, do some preparatory things to just make it easy for you to adapt and adjust these characters at your will. So she's gonna say yes please, and she's gonna be pretty enthusiastic about that. And I think what we want to do basically is make him a lot less enthusiastic. So I've copy and pasted this. I want the same shape and size, but I don't want other things. So I'm not gonna want this speech part here, right? So I'm gonna get this tool. This tool. Alright, as you see, they have similar symbols. But that's the curvature tool. It's the pen tool. Whenever in doubt, Adobe is really good at just putting what things are. And at the beginning, they do have tutorials, and you can access the tutorials again, how to use things. So now in the CC version, it will hover and you'll see the options come. It will perceive what it is. Before, you'd have to go and you have to go either minus or plus. But in the newer versions, it knows that, okay, there's a point there, so they probably don't want to put one on top of it. They probably want to erase it. Here, there isn't one, so they probably want to put one. I'm going to undo that. Here, there isn't one, so they probably want to add one. So, that is good. I think it saves time. Actually, I know it saves time because I remember being that person that was going yeah, let's go to the minus one. I just undid that. I wondered if I needed to even... Yeah, I think that will work. And no prizes for guessing what we're going to do. We're going to do what we did before. And properties, Pathfinder, merge. There, longer speech bubble. Bring to front. Yes, please. And because I actually like the size of that bubble, I think I'm just gonna change the size of this. It's ginormous font, I know. Yeah, I did a big square shape for these because they're gonna be on Insta, but I want to make resolution, and I want the text to be large enough to see. So there we are. She's like, yay, yes please. And what's he gonna be like? He's gonna be like, kind of nervous laughter. Coming up. Long as you're, and I meant you are, not infectious or something. And I'm really hoping we can just keep this guy here because I don't know, I kind of like the setup, and I think we can. I think after enough of the text is sorted, I might actually see that, yeah, this will work. So he's kind of not very subtle about it, but he's trying to he's trying to articulate his concerns just in a pretty uncomfortable way. So, actually, let's do the at the end. And yes, part of that is because I'm running out of space, but part of that is because I don't think it needs to be there twice. Coming up, or sure thing. Let's do that. Sure thing, because he is still trying to be a good host, right? As long as you're not like infectious or something. And we're gonna do this thing that we've probably seen a lot, cartoon characters and then just characters on TV in general. We're gonna put his arm kind of behind his neck, like he's a little uncomfortable. And here we go. I'm gonna transform this. Yeah, let's reflect. Rotate. You can rotate it at different points, and you guys will see it when I do it. I'll talk about it a bit. Horizontal preview helps. Good. And I'm gonna do this. And really, I want this forearm to come like pretty sharply behind, not his neck, his head kind of, I think, like rubbing the back of his head a little bit. As you see, if I want it like that, this is gonna have to be further up. Oops. That's the time I did want it grouped. And I don't know, like, this is how I've always done it. In my last, like the video before this little series, I did say this is how I like started doing digital drawing, like actual digital drawing. It wasn't on these comics, but I did a different design layout essentially, and different design aesthetic, but it was made up of a lot of shapes. Before that, I was just drawing with styluses on my iPad. So I'm used to this. I'm sure, like, if you guys are just getting started, take notes of the things I'm telling you to do differently. But yeah, I'm comfortable working how I am. But there are different ways, and I see a lot of different artists use their own methods that differ than mine. So I'm gonna select this, gonna press Shift, and I'm gonna just press the square bracket that is like left aligned. And you're hearing a lot of clicking, but you're not seeing a lot of stuff. Okay, what I was trying to do, guys, is, I think I'll do it differently. I'm gonna right click it, I'm gonna arrange, and I'm gonna send to back, because I can't, because they are together. Okay, that is fine. I'm gonna cut it. There's more than one way to skin a cat or move an arm in this case. And I'm gonna paste it, and I'm gonna paste it outside of this group, and then I'm gonna send it to back. And then I thought that might happen. So what I just did there, I wasn't sure because I thought the red part was on a different layer, but it is on this version. This is why I think I definitely will need to make a template. But anyways, what I did there was I held Control and I used this squared bracket to say bring forward, and I did that twice. Obviously you can't see my keyboard, but I did that with the shortcut. And the first thing I did, I sent it to back, which is behind this as well. And yeah, and I think I'm gonna do it one more time, see how that goes. Do I want it again? How does it look now? I'm wondering if I kind of want it above. That works. Yeah, cool. And the reason we done that and it's so painful is because, and actually, to be honest, usually I do just have all my backgrounds on one layer. But with the way I copied it, that didn't happen. And I think I will just adjust all of that so I can have just an easier time of it for the next two boxes. This is what we got going on. And he's all like, still looking pretty uncomfortable. So it's like, can I get you a glass of water? Yes, please. Sure thing, as long as you're not like infectious or something. This is where we want it to be like a little awkward. And we might want to make this bubble a little bigger. Maybe I'll get rid of these. And I think for this sake, I don't need to necessarily add a new shape to it, but just elongate it a little bit. Okay. So, sure thing. As long as you're not like infectious or something. Cool. So, guys, I'm already like halfway through, so pardon my bad habits. Let's see. Now for this, it is on my background layer. So I won't have the same thing that happened last time. So is this. But I'm just gonna proceed. But note what I'm saying. Like, because I have definitely mentioned when it will be easier for you to try and do things a slightly different way. So I'm gonna steal these. That's why I like keeping these guys around, because sometimes I just have things I can just take really quickly. And the other good thing about taking it is not only will it save you time from like just drawing it all from scratch, but it will also put you in the position where you have continuity. And that's what you want. You want continuity. Especially if you have like this cartoon world, you're doing a regular comic, it needs to be familiar. So I'm going to give him the sweat stuff. This is how they sweat on this planet or place or whatever it is. And we're going to be like wondering a bit. Okay? Like, he looks nervous. And I think actually I was overthinking it before. I don't think that it's kind of like, oh, is it because he's like got a crush, or it's a weird vibe between them both. And hopefully that will be very clear when looking at the whole comic together. I actually love deleting these. I don't know, it's because I know I have it saved in a different way. It feels a little strange, to be honest, to like just delete all this stuff. But like it's weird to see it vanish because you're kind of making your own world. But it's fine. It's actually working out. So I've been putting these on the blue layer. Yes, I have. That's the light blue layer. This is a dark blue layer. So I might just correct some of my alignment. Okay. So he's on the light blue layer, but the common denominator for the dark blue layer is that the people are here. So I'm going to change that to people. And I'm going to make sure I'm on the right layer. I'm going to put him here. There we go. So if I'm correct, I should have the people on there. This, I'm going to move to the back. In fact, I'm going to make sure the floor is on the back too. I don't want to be giving you guys bad suggestions, and frankly, it can be a bit tedious to have to keep fixing these little things one by one. Okay, so now we should have the back. Yep, floors and boards. We should have the people. Okay, they're on a people layer. Okay, so let's call this living room. So are these also, these are part of the people. So I'm gonna select these and just make them a part of the living room. And you might end up seeing that I've cropped a lot of this because the waste of my time this does not have to be the waste of your time it is. But learn from me, I suppose. So as you see, the living room is in fact underneath the people layer. That seems like an obvious thing to say. It is an obvious thing, but it is something you could lose track of. If I was to now put the living room above the people, things like that happen. And you know, I only have 5 active layers, right? Imagine if you have 20 active layers. And that can happen depending on how complex what you're dealing with is. And yes, guys, I know I could just copy and paste that on the same layer, but I'm just going to do this because we're already here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. Again, living room. I'm going to paste. Oh, and you can do this. It might not always be like exactly on center. So before you go and click off and ungroup them, make sure it is actually where you want it to be. Okay, so now we have living room, we have people, we have living room behind people, we have a random line from old comic we do not need, and we are going to proceed. So I'm gonna get rid of this. Someone can tell me where that came from. I did not realize where that came from. Like, I still don't know, but let's move on. So we have scene 1, scene 2, and we're going to scene 3. Yes, we've got the back. I'm gonna save this for now because that might be the perfect size thing for me. And we're gonna go to the living room, aren't we, guys? And we're gonna paste this. This one's like a little samey, like with aesthetic, because it just happens to be. Not all of them are. And I'm actually just trying to align this with this guy right above us. And as you see, this pink line shows the tables lined. So that's cool. I think it needs to be a bit higher. And really, I could have just copy and pasted this whole background. But the thing is, I wasn't sure where I was going to go with this completely. I wasn't sure if it would all be in the same room. And obviously now it is. So in future, I would just have them all layered better. And you'll see in my future videos, I'm probably going to be working off that template that I told you about, that I will make to avoid these little things. But sometimes it is necessary if, like I said, with me, you don't know where you're going. So because I didn't know if he would go off into the kitchen and have like a little bit of a panic attack, which sounds like an idea that I kind of tempted to explore, or not, or like stay in the same setting. I didn't know if I wanted to have this for the whole thing, but that's why that planning stage helps. With this one, it was a little less formed, so I just thought, okay, I'm gonna go with it. So here we are in our next setting again. So I think we're gonna leave part 3 here for now. Next time we're going to be jumping in from right where we left off into the third box and probably the fourth box as well. So yeah, just stay tuned. Just thanks for joining, and let's just keep exploring and creating. Okay, see you next time.